As part of our ongoing commitment to community health, United Way of Lackawanna and Wayne counties began a groundbreaking initiative in 2015 aimed at helping older adults self-manage chronic health conditions while avoiding unplanned or emergency medical visits, improving overall health, reducing healthcare expenses, minimizing stress on caregivers, and helping seniors to remain active and in their homes.
The TIPS program, TIPS stands for the Telehealth Intervention Program for Seniors, and basically what it does is I work as the technician, so I'm there taking the blood oxygen levels, the pulse, the blood pressure, and the weight, and all of that gets sent to the nurses who see all the readings and can monitor, look for any red flags, and make sure that nothing is going astray, and hopefully catch anything before it develops into a bigger problem.
Funded by a grant from the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation, TIPS uses non-invasive, FDA-approved medical devices to assess the health and well-being of nearly 200 seniors aged 65 and older at 6 different locations in Lackawanna County, 2 to 3 times per week.
I've seen a lot of impacts both on the health side and just in the interpersonal side. Some of the big success stories have been just people changing medications and not realizing the effects it's had, and we've been able to catch a lot of those problems before they've evolved into bigger situations. Just making sure that people are taking what they need to and not taking some things unnecessarily. So we've seen spikes in blood pressure or drops in blood pressure and been able to catch that. But I think some of the biggest, most consistent effects that I've seen have been just in the community building, in the way that we get to see each other every week or twice a week in some cases, and just how you develop a relationship with the seniors and get to know them and grow attached, and they're interested in what's going on in your life, and obviously you're interested in what's going on in theirs, and it's really led to a really great sense of community.
The effect of this program on the lives of our participants has been astounding thus far. In a study completed in the late summer of 2016, 37 participants reported to be frequent visitors to the emergency rooms of local hospitals due to chronic cardiovascular and/or pulmonary problems prior to entering the TIPS program. Since joining the program, this same group has reported 0 visits to the ER and/or readmissions to local medical facilities. While the long-term impact of TIPS is far-reaching, reducing medical costs for both the medical facility and the individual, medical insurance rates, in-home and physician visits, the true impact can be seen in the enhanced well-being of our senior participants.
Usually are the same people that come up from the university. We've gotten to know the girls. We had a fellow that was up here and then he graduated. And now we have 2 girls that are pretty steady coming up. They got to know us and we got to know them. And it's funny because as soon as you go over to the desk and they're going to take your pressure, they can tell as they're doing it if you're feeling good that day. And we've gotten to be just like a little family. And they've gotten to know us, we've gotten to know them, and it works very well. It's really been very helpful all the way around. It's very good for me personally for the simple reason it keeps an eye on my blood pressure. And my pressure has a tendency to go up or down. And with the girls checking it twice a week, it works out fine. And I've had a call come from the nurses down at Scranton when it's gone up a little bit too high. And a few of the other people at the center here have found out that their pressure has been a little bit out.
The results of each participant's visit are sent via HIPAA-approved software and internet to a registered nurse who monitors the data for any abnormalities or potential problems.
So then we're also monitoring their blood pressure. So if it's above a certain number on the systolic number, we have parameters. So if their blood pressure comes in and it's either above or below what the parameters are, that would come up as an alert. Same thing for the heart rate. There is a high heart rate, there's a low heart rate. The oxygen level is set at 90. If anything comes in below that, it alerts as well. And then the weight, we just monitor that. If it comes where it's above a 3-pound weight gain within 3 days, that will alert, and it will also alert if it's more than a 3-pound weight gain or a 5-pound weight gain over 7 days. So those are the things that we would see on the screen. We don't see everybody's readings, we just see the ones as they alert. So when they come in, we're able to monitor it live. We look at the screen as they're coming up, and then we go in for each one and we could see a whole history of what the readings have been. So if the sometimes what we have to do is either talk to the seniors right there at the moment to see how they're feeling, depending upon what the reading is, if it's really abnormal. As the day goes on, what we usually do is we wait till they go home from the senior center, and then we'll start making our phone calls back, you know, to say, well, this is what alerted. And the students usually let them know as well that you'll be getting a call from the nurse. So then we'll call them and we'll chat and we'll see what's going on, and we'll ask a lot of questions as to like changes, their diet, you know, if there's a change in their medication, and we'll do a little bit of health teaching, yeah, as we're talking. So, you know, that's how it recently works. She had just started where her heart rate just started to dip a little bit, and that's not normal for her. So, you know, it happened to be one of the days that I was on, and, you know, I watched and I thought, the last couple readings, her heart rate, that's low for her. It's not normal. So, like, calling her on the phone and telling her that, and then asking her questions, you know, I said to her, well, I think you better call your physician.
That I got on the phone, I called Dr. Pancioli, and I went up there, had an appointment, and had all kinds of tests done, which came up normal. So he says, how have you been feeling? And I told him, and I says, they told me I should see a heart doctor, and I says, I've been tired, and I had excuses for everything. So anyways, he did the catheterization, and you're up when they do it. And he said, you have 2 blocked arteries. I couldn't believe it. So about within 10 days, I was in the Mercy Hospital. He replaced 2 arteries, and I'm fine. If not for this program, it could have led to a stroke, a heart attack, anything, because I'm not one to run back and forth to the doctor. And sometimes you go to the doctor once every so often, your blood pressure's normal, everything's normal. But if not for this program, God knows what would have happened. And everybody that comes through the door in the Westside Senior Citizen Center, I say, did you do your tips today? Did you do your tips today? And everybody knows what happened to me. And I tell them, if not for this program, I don't know what would have happened. And now every day I do it.
It's been proactive for some of the seniors, and you know, that we found things or, you know, looked at some of the things that might indicate that there's something wrong and help save somebody's life. I mean, that woman could have had a heart attack and maybe died. So, I mean, that's all pluses to me. It's a great program to help be proactive and stop, you know, maybe prevent seniors from going to the emergency room, you know, after something serious has happened. At least it's an angel watching over them, more or less, I would say.